Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 240 of the Ask the Coach show, where PingSkills helps you improve your table tennis. It's Technique Tuesday, and we'll be talking about one of the most exciting strokes in table tennis, the topspin to topspin. In the questions, we talk about how to get topspin on a Tomahawk serve, whether you can excel when you start the game at 19, and whether you can change bats during a tournament. I'm Jeff Plum, and as always, Super Coach Alois Rosario is here with me to answer your questions. Welcome, Alois.
Good morning, Jeffrey. And yes, another week. So we had yesterday off, Jeff, a public holiday here in Victoria and in Adelaide, in some parts of Australia.
Yeah, and Canberra and maybe even Tasmania.
Yeah. So, that's why we weren't here yesterday, but we are back, bigger and better.
We certainly are. And Alois, you have been continuing to practice the spin catcher. Are you making progress?
It's progress is a funny thing. I definitely feel like I am progressing. And if I went back and looked at the first day and what I can feel today, I definitely feel like I'm improving. But, like after the first day or two, I thought, oh, wow, this is going to be easy. By day 6 or 7, I will be Marcos Freitas extraordinaire. But after day 14, so 2 weeks, I'm about a half a Freitas, I reckon.
Half a Freitas.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, there you go. Well, with the table tapper, I've got to say, I think I'm at least as good as Marcus Freitas.
Hey, there you go, Marcus. Are you listening out there?
I had a rally that was just under 3 minutes, Alois, the other day. 5 minutes is going to be pretty hard with the concentration, but it's possible.
Come on, you just got to park that mind, Jeffrey, and just do it. You have
exactly. And yeah, the flipping is still miles off there, so I've got to work on that as well.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I was talking to a few people on the weekend who were very impressed with you, Jeff, and how much you've improved in that short amount of time. So yeah, you got some fans out there.
Oh, well, thank you. I do think it's a bit easier skill than the spin catcher, but don't tell anyone. All right, Alois. Now, Friday's PingSkills question of the day was, should you let your kids beat you at table tennis? What do you have to say?
Well, yeah, Jeff, I definitely had you in mind when I was when we started talking about this question. So Thad said, no, they have to learn, and losing is part of the game. Rock Lobster said, I reckon play to their level or slightly higher, allowing them to improve and enjoy the game by winning. Where's the fun in smashing kids? We want them to come back. So there you go. And Mark Taylor said, I still do. Yeah, I don't know about that, Mark. He's got a son that usually beats him. And John said, nope, but I did start playing my son left-handed. I'm right-handed, to give him some advantage. That was over 10 years ago. Now he can beat me 60% of the time when I play left-handed. He has beat me a couple of times when I play right-handed. He's getting better. And we had a couple of responses on the blog as well. So Marson said, depends on what you want to achieve. Would I smash or topspin like crazy at, for example, a 6-year-old kid? I don't think so. Would I make it too easy for him again? I don't think so. So interesting. And Jean Balthazar said, you shouldn't let them win, but you should let them play. This means you shouldn't do the disguised serve variations that will make them miss each return and think they'll be forever incapable of adjusting, or kill every ball, or constantly put the ball where they're not expecting. Adjust your level to be challenging but not discouraging. So I think they're really wise words there by Gene and a few others as well. So a few of them saying, yes, you should beat them because they do need to learn to lose, but maybe don't smack them, don't like beat them 11-0 every game. They may not never come back. It'd be too discouraging. What do you think, Jeff?
I think that's very smart words from all those people. I mean, kids want to be challenged, I think, and you definitely don't want to make it too hard or too easy. So I think those answers are really good. And if they
Yeah,
make it fun like that, they're going to play a lot, and they're going to play against people their own age, and they're going to have chances to win and lose. And I think that's good.
yeah, I think so. And I really think it's really important to teach kids how to lose. Years ago here in Australia, we had the Aussie sport, philosophy where everyone's a winner and everyone gets a medal and everyone gets a, ribbon at the end of the day. And I think that's okay in some regards, but I think it also then doesn't actually teach them, okay, well, in this endeavor, someone's better than you are, and in something else, you might be better than they are. I think it's important to build up kids' self-confidence, definitely, but definitely don't just give them wins all the time and never, ever let them experience losing, because then later on, it just becomes more difficult. And that's where you see tantrums.
Yes. And it's interesting because here in Australia, we have a program called AusKick, which is like a junior Aussie rules football program. And the kids do some skills. And then for the last half an hour, they play some games. And they don't really score, and there's no real winner. But all the kids score, and all the kids know who's winning. And so it kind of defeats the purpose of not scoring. It's
Yeah, and they do that with very young basketballers here too. They have junior basketball where they don't keep the score, but as you said, Jeff, all the kids know. They know who won.
Indeed. All right. Well, let's move on to today's PingSkills question of the day, and it is a good one. Who has a better backhand, Liam Pitchford or Zhangji Ke? So jump onto our Facebook page, facebook.com/PingSkills, or onto the PingSkills blog, and let us know who has a better backhand, Liam Pitchford or
thanks.
Zhangji Ke.
Yeah, thanks to Sam Von Einem for suggesting that, because he was very impressed with Liam Pitchford's backhand at the World Championship. So let's see what you PingSkillers out there think.
Absolutely. All right, Alois, it's time for this day in history. What happened on the 15th of March?
Well, 1985, Jeff, the first internet domain name was registered, and it was symbolics.com. Never heard of it, but I just actually went to the site and haven't actually got into it. But yeah, 1985, the first registered domain name on the internet.
There you go. That is interesting.
Yeah, and also a couple of birthdays. So the Phillips twins from Wales, Megan and Anurad. So they helped us out before the previous Paralympics, training with our players prior to the previous Paralympics. So thank you, girls. But yes, their birthday, and they were born in. I probably shouldn't tell you. I mean, girls don't like their ages sometimes.
No, don't have the age. Absolutely.
Yeah.
15th of March. That's all people need to know. All right. Now it is Tuesday, Alois, and that means it's time for the segment Technique Tuesday. What are we talking about?
Yeah, so today we're talking about a bit of an advanced skill, the backhand to backhand topspin. So this is I think, a skill that at the higher level now is becoming, wow, so good and so important to be able to do. In the past, in our day, Jeff, most people, played forehand to forehand topspin, and they'd get around and they'd move around and play forehands everywhere. Now, players stand in the middle of the table because the ball's traveling pretty fast. Stand in the middle of the table and they're just playing backhand topspins just as easily as the forehand. So a bit about the technique. So firstly, when you've playing that backhand to backhand topspin, if you're further away from the table, it's okay to then start to hit that ball from a little bit outside the line of your body. So from your left hip if you're a right-hander, or even further out. So starting from out there and then coming all the way through and finishing your stroke. So utilize your wrist a lot to generate spin of your own. And one of the really important things with that backhand to backhand topspin is that you don't need to lift the ball. Okay, the ball's already got a lot of topspin on the ball, so you don't need to do that. You can just come straight forward, but you still need to generate topspin on the ball by really brushing over the top of the ball on that backhand to backhand topspin. If you're closer to the table, then you don't have time to play that bigger stroke from here. So then it's closer to the table, you're more in front of your body and still really utilizing your wrist and ripping over the top of that ball, again, to generate the topspin and to keep the ball down. Again, no lifting. You don't need to lift that ball. It'll just pop off the end of the table, just straight over the top of that with the backhand to backhand topspin. So a stroke that's becoming more and more popular and more useful and almost more necessary nowadays at the higher level.
Absolutely. And you did mention Liam Pitchford earlier. During the recent World Championships, he had some amazing backhand topspins from back from the table. Yeah, incredible. It's great to watch, isn't it? Very exciting.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen any of Pitchford play, well, get onto it. We always promote ITTV and go to the World Championships that's just recently finished. Watch the semi-finals, watch the quarterfinals match that they played as well. Sensational table tennis by Pitchford. But yeah, there's a lot, and you'll see, like from all of the players, you'll see some really nice backhand to backhand topspin rallying.
Absolutely. All right, it is time for the questions. And Il asks, which contact of the ball, so he's asking where should he hit the ball to do a topspin serve with the Tomahawk service? Is it the bottom, the middle, or the top of the ball?
Okay, so the Tomahawk service for topspin, you need to be brushing over the top of the ball. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to brush here. Okay, so by trying to brush there on the ball, what you need to do is you need to then angle your bat at that angle so that you're coming over the top of the ball. If you have your bat at that angle, then you just can't brush over the top of the ball there. So so get here, get the angle over the top, and then brush over the top. So with all of the Tomahawk serves, you're going to have a bit of side spin on the ball because you're basically going to hit the ball somewhere around this half of the ball here for the Tomahawk, because that's the angle of your racket. It's hard to, well, you can't do that. So by doing that, then you're varying the type of spin. If you're brushing it more on the lower part here, then it's backspin. If you're brushing the ball more on the upper part here, then it's topspin. So that's the way to get it. And coincidentally, we've just released a new video on our serving secrets on the Tomahawk serve, which includes that topspin topspin Tomahawk. So for our premium members, get to it, have a look. Let us know what you think of the new Tomahawk serve video.
Absolutely, yes. We've been refilming a lot of the serving secrets. It's a little bit, some of the lessons were a little bit old, so we've refilmed quite a lot of them now in HD, including the pendulum and the reverse pendulum, and now the Tomahawk. Yeah, so as Alois said, check it out. If you're not a premium member, go check out the membership options at PingSkills.com. Lots of great information, not just serving. We've got receiving, we've got a 52-week training plan with 52 associated masterclasses. There's sports psychology, multi-ball, lots of great stuff. So check it all out at pingskills.com. All right, Alois, next question is from Shiva, who says, I started playing table tennis at the age of 19, and now I'm 23. And by the time I learned the proper strokes, it's already too late. Is it impossible to follow the game if it's too late, or do you think if there are still chances for me to excel?
Okay, Shiva. We get this question a bit. You know, we get a lot of players that have started the game at a later age. I always say, if you start at 19, there is a big chance that you are not going to be world champion. But there are not billions, there are millions of players that start at 10 and 12 that are not going to be world champion either. You know, it's all about just pushing the limits, trying to see how good you can get at the game. If you're starting at 19, push and see what level you can get to. You might get to a state level. You might even get to a national level in some countries. But yeah, I mean, that top of the tree is really difficult. For that, you do need to start at a really young age. There's a lot of Chinese players that are starting at 5, 6, 7, hitting a lot of table tennis balls. They've hit a lot of balls by the time they're 19. But the other really good part about table tennis is it's a sport that you can play basically forever until you are in that box. You can keep playing table tennis. We had an Australian player, Dr. Lowe, that played till she was over 100. There are competitions for players in the over 80s and over 85s division. So, if you're starting at 19, you've got 60 plus years to achieve something in the over 80s. So, Shiva, just work hard at being the best table tennis player you can. Focus on your drills, focus on your training, and see where you can get to. As I said, there's millions of players that start at 6 that aren't going to be world champion either.
Absolutely. It's great to hear you talk about that, Alois. It just makes you realize how wonderful a sport table tennis is. There's plenty of challenges for anyone at any age, and you can play it forever. What a great game.
And I often quote Brian Berry, the great B. Brian, one of our friends, who started at a very late age. I think he maybe started at 17, 18 years of age. So now he's won a lot of national titles at the veterans level. He's still competitive at the senior level in Australia. So, it just goes to show he's completely obsessed with the game. He loves the game and he plays, almost every day. And he's reached a really high level and is well respected in table tennis. So there's lots of possibilities for you, Shiva.
Indeed. All right, let's move on to the next question from Daniel, who says, can one change bats during a tournament? If so, how often? I would think you couldn't do it in the middle of a single game, but I have no idea.
Yeah. So if I'm playing against an opponent, so if Jeff and I are playing a match, I start the match with a bat. I have to use that bat for the rest of that match against Jeff, unless I accidentally break it. So, if I'm playing and I accidentally clip the table and something happens, the rubber chips off or the bat actually cracks, then you are allowed to go and get your spare bat, which you need to have next to the court. But I'm not allowed to change the bat just because I think, this one's not really working that well today. I can't then go and put that one in my bag and go and grab another one out of the bag to play against Jeff. I've got to stay with that same bat for the whole match against Jeff.
Interestingly there, Alois, you said if you accidentally break it, what if I deliberately break it?
Yep, basically that's the end of the match because you're not allowed to change your bat in that situation. So if I have a temper tantrum and smack the bat on the table or throw the bat and it breaks, bad luck. That's the end of the match. You forfeit. Yeah.
Okay, now what about during a tournament?
Yes. So once I finish the match with Jeff, I can then for my next match against whoever I'm playing next, I can use whichever bat I want. So I can pick out a new bat out of my bag, or I can go and buy a new bat that I've never seen before and use that if I'm really silly enough. But yeah, you're allowed to change bats after a match, but not during a match with a player.
Okay. Now, we do get this question from time to time. People say, should I use one bat or should I use two bats? Maybe they think they'd like to play different styles, so they might have a different bat. What are your thoughts on whether people should have multiple bats for themselves?
Yeah, I think definitely have the one bat. So even your spare bat should be basically the same bat or really similar to your main bat. I think it's difficult to change or alternate what you're doing with a different bat during a tournament. Interestingly, there was a player at a tournament that I was at yesterday that does use a different bat, from match to match. And interestingly, he also changes from penhold to shake hand, again, depending on who he's playing. Yeah, I'm not sure about that strategically. I think it's probably better to stick with the one.
Yeah, I think, and you always talk about this, Alois, if you're changing your bats and you start missing shots, is it because people think it might be just because you're not used to the new bat, or is it because your technique's not right? You're never sure where the problem is. Whereas if you just stick with one bat, it makes it easier to isolate any problems you're having and then fix them.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, you're confused. Now, you go for a forehand topspin and the ball doesn't go on. And you think, oh, maybe that rubber just didn't grip as much, or maybe your technique was bad on that ball. So, yeah, it's hard. It's always hard to tell. So stick to something that that you know and is familiar. Same bat.
Excellent. All right, Alois. Well, that wraps up episode 240. I hope everyone had a great weekend and played lots of table tennis. And I want to thank everyone for listening to the show and thank everyone for their questions. And also, we need to thank Alois for answering them. Thank you, Alois.
And thank you, Jeff. And a special shout out to Robin Moore on this special occasion as well.
Indeed. All right. Thanks, everyone. And we will see you again tomorrow. Happy table tennis. Bye.